What's up, everybody? I'm Emerson Hip, he's Gage Samoji, and this is the Intoxicated Sports Report. And in the peanut gallery today, we have none other than Danny Del Zompo. Welcome back.
How about them Cowboys?
Pick the right one. We do have some new audio to reveal today. I don't know when Gage wants to do it. He can do it whenever he wants, but it's there. Okay. Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed, but there's a new voice starting the show today. I haven't done this in, it feels like 3-4 months.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. But yes, welcome back. This is episode number 201.
Yes.
So we're starting our next 100 episodes in new fashion.
And I'm really glad Danny could join us.
Absolutely.
He must have heard all the nice things we said about him. That's why he's here today, right?
It was under my contract that we wouldn't talk about it, so I'm a little offended that you brought it up. I may walk off. We'll see how it goes.
It is Thursday Night Football, of course, and it's a victory Monday for the Niners, but they are also playing today against the Rams, and it's a 6-6 ball game in the fourth quarter right now.
I gave you the out-ish if you wanted to do this podcast on a different night, because, I understand you probably want to watch your team play.
Right.
But the Niners kind of stink, so I think that's kind of why you said that you would be okay with me just doing it.
Yeah, and, honestly, I don't have any other days off this week, so
there we go.
This is going to be it.
Well, there we go.
Well, first off, I texted Emerson earlier today about watching the game. He goes, "Oh, yeah, Thursday Night Football." Totally forgot about it.
No, I
No,
knew
you
it.
didn't.
I knew it was happening, but
You didn't forget about
but
it.
yes.
How you been, Danny? How you doing?
Yeah,
I am glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here, too.
I had to get my streak back up or get back to the top,
Well, you're not an official guest.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, when he posts this, it will not say Danny Del Zompo 6 or 7, right?
No.
You kind of gotta be on screen for that. Yeah. But we appreciate you being here nonetheless.
You want to put your face in just to make it official? Oh, there's a hand. Oh, shit. That's not good.
Puka Nakua.
Puka Nakua. Is the start of the show just going to be the downfall of the 49ers for the rest of this game?
I sure hope so.
It's pretty much do or die for the Niners for the rest of the season.
They have to do what you wanted your fantasy team to do and run the table.
Yeah. I did what I needed to do to get into the playoffs, but didn't finish the deal.
You had a tough loss.
Yeah.
That's a tough. Like I lost by almost 20, so I feel good about it.
Right. You put up a good score though.
I know
that's tough. But
you lost by 2 points.
Yep, shooting myself over the benching of Derek Carr and the starting of Will Levis at the quarterback position.
Will the Thrill.
Not my finest moment in fantasy football history. But
when I saw you pick him up, I was like, I cannot believe he did it. Like I told you, I thought I was the only idiotic one to even consider doing that. I almost did the same thing.
Fantasy football does this to you. It makes you do rash decisions in the moment. Because I could have picked up a quarterback during the week. I could have gone for Jameis Winston or...
if you stuck with Derek Carr, you would have won.
Well, that's the thing. Is I was sticking with Derek Carr in my mind, and then Sunday morning comes, and I'm like, Will Levis, he's projected more.
Good matchup.
He's playing the Jags. He could throw a couple touchdowns. What did he do? He didn't throw any.
He had 6 points for you?
Yeah. And Derek Carr, he didn't have a banger game, but he had what would have been plenty of points to help me beat Sean in the first round of the playoffs. So... Tough way to go out, but
now we're playing in the consolation bracket.
Yeah.
So hey,
ISR Bowl, here we go.
Let's go. What are we drinking today, boys?
I made a little old fashioned kind of type cocktail, but instead of using sugar, I used just coffee liqueur, Mr. Black.
Okay.
Yep.
Shout out Goodfellas, or no, shout out Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs, good call. Yeah. Excuse me. Was there a Mr. Black?
I think there was. I think the main guy was Mr. Black.
Was he? Okay.
No. Yeah, is that right?
Because there was a Mr.
I know Danny
White,
fact check
right?
me. Is that true?
Yeah.
Good call.
Mr. Pink, of course.
Mr. Pink, classic.
Although it's a good movie, but you think it's kind of an overrated Quentin Tarantino.
A little bit. I mean, it's definitely got the cult following, and I can see why, but I think the overall storyline it's not my favorite of his.
It's a slow movie.
Yeah,
it's slow.
Yeah,
but it's good.
Pulp is way better than Reservoir Dogs.
Oh yeah,
without a question.
If you're talking about full on story and the way it's written,
yeah. But you're also talking about
one of the best
movies that's ever been
for sure
been on film.
I think because is Reservoir Dogs his first release film essentially? Yeah. So I think
was it?
Yeah.
Or commercial film anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if that is indeed number one, that's a pretty good one to start off with. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Anyhow. Rams about to kick field goal to take the lead.
Well, don't get too ahead of yourself.
Well, the field goal is to take the lead, and it does.
Oh, okay. Now they're up 9-6 with 9:28.
Plenty of time left. See what Brock's got in him. Shall we just jump right into the news? Anything?
Go for it.
Yeah, all right.
I got nothing else.
Okay.
Let me check.
This is mostly baseball stuff, but we'll start with that. Free agency, Juan Soto, of course, signed the biggest contract in MLB history.
I think in American sports history.
Maybe in sports history.
In sports history.
Yeah, in general. Signing with the Mets, 15 years, $765 million, which is a $51 million per year average. A lot of fucking money.
This is insane.
A lot of money.
It's insane.
You know what? It's crazy, too, because when they were talking about, what the bidding would look like, they were like, oh, it's going to be 600. But that already sounds crazy. And
what did Ohtani get last year?
He got 700 over 10 years. Definitely a different looking contract. He's a little bit older. Juan Soto being 26. That definitely helped his market.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that it was 600 is probably going to be like where it starts, and then it gets all the way to 765. That's pretty nuts. Didn't see that. 15 years too is a long commitment. Like I don't believe there's any opt-outs if I'm not mistaken in this contract.
In 15 years from now, I'm going to be 44 years old,
and he's going to be 41.
It's funny because these kind of contracts, anytime I see these long years, maybe not this money from the money standpoint, but the year standpoint, I always think of Albert Pujols.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I feel like that's the first long-term contract I
100%.
remember.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that one was still, I think, only 10 though, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, but at the time, I was doing the math when we were in probably high school.
Yeah,
or I was like in early high school.
Because he was signed till his age 41 season.
I'm like,
I think.
dude, that's a long time.
Right.
10 years. So the fact that, Juan Soto getting 15 makes more sense because of how young he is, like you mentioned.
Right.
But, the money.
Yeah.
And the fact that he went to the younger, the little brother.
Of the New York teams,
He's like, you know what, I had a hell of a year, not his best year maybe?
I think you could argue it's his best year. Yeah.
One of his best years
that
he's had with the Yankees, and he decides to leave the Yankees.
Yeah.
How many guys decide to leave the Yankees?
Doesn't happen often.
When the
I remember
Yankees-
Robinson Cano did it, and that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
But
When the Yankees offered him one more year, which is crazy. Didn't they offer him 16?
I think it was 16 for a little, a few million less. Yeah.
So, but you got to give it to him because he turned down a $400 million contract with the Nationals. I'm sure a lot of people at the time were like, that's
nuts.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And he bet on himself, and he damn near doubled what he originally was going to get by the Nationals.
Man cashed out.
And for reference, a Pujols contract was a 10-year for $210 million.
210, yeah.
But back 210 back then, I was like, wow.
That was pretty good, yeah. The one that sticks out to me that I remember was John Carlos with the Marlins that I believe was 13 years for 25 a year or something like that. Because that was the first one that was well over 10 years, and I'm like, really, the Marlins are gonna fucking sign this guy to fucking the 13-year contract?
And that really held up.
Yeah, I think he was there for 2 more years after that. But yeah, it's crazy. Juan Soto is an amazing hitter. He's obviously, the Mets fans. There's going to be a time, sometime in the next 5 years, if not this coming year, where they're going to be sick of his effort on defense. There's no question in my mind. But he is an elite hitter, one of the probably 3 best in the league. And he's obviously his age, like we talked about, is something that is contributing to this contract. But it's crazy.
Well, when you have an owner who's one of the richest owners, and I think in the history, not history, but in current American sports,
and he's aggressive.
you could do this, but don't you think a contract like this is going to affect the team when it comes to trying to get better talent to try to make the team better?
Doesn't sound like he's afraid to continue to spend money.
That's insane.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I'm thinking about Pete Alonso in this situation, who's spent the first 6 years of his career with the Mets, and he's been a huge part of any kind of success they've had since he's been there.
Was he wasn't there for the World Series run 2015?
He was not. No, he came in. I think it's 2017 or 18 was his rookie year, something like that. But the fact that he's a free agent now, I almost feel like they owe him at least a really quality offer.
Well, that's a good point because I busted my ass here. Won a couple home run derbies. If not, was it 1 or 2?
I think at least 1, if not 2. Yeah,
being pretty much the face of the franchise.
Yep.
And you're paying. Juan Soto's better.
Yeah. No, there's no question.
But you're not gonna he deserves a contract.
At least
comparable to this because nothing is comparable to this.
But something that his market demands.
Exactly.
And you think about the playoff performances that he had in this past postseason. I think, yeah. And I could honestly see, not that they should, lowball him, but I could see him saying, well, the Mets are going for it. I want to stick around. I'll take whatever I can from these guys.
That's a good point.
There's that side too, but I feel like the Mets owe him in a way.
If not, come to the Giants.
Yeah, right. I take Pete Alonso.
Oh yeah, didn't you want him last year?
I felt like he was a pretty good trade candidate for the Giants, but of course the Mets ended up being a lot better than we thought.
Yeah. And how far off are we to the first $1 billion contract?
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It is gonna happen. It's gonna take another situation where you got a guy that reaches free agency at a young age, because Juan Soto made his debut at 19 years old.
And is already a world champion.
So it's going to take another special player like him, and I'd say in 15 years, sometime around the time his contract's up, that's going to be.
It's going to take a while.
It's going to be on the table
because if Ohtani didn't get it and Soto didn't get it, it's not going to happen for anybody that we know of for a while.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Yeah, and Ohtani's situation is different because he came over to Major League Baseball,
and he does both.
Yeah, Ohtani's unique for sure.
Did Mike Trout ever get a big contract?
He got like a 13.
Yeah, it was like 12 or 13 for like 400 something. So yeah, he definitely got one. Damn. But yeah, these two guys blown his contracts out of the water.
Well, that's how things are. Yeah, I think it will take a little while for it to get there. But.
Yeah, because you're going to need a guy of his caliber, or think of like Ronald Acuna Jr. if he reached free agency at the age 25 or 26. Something like that. But
because these baseball contracts are the only ones I get this big, right?
Right.
Because I was going to say, if we're talking like currently to any kind of sport, I would say Victor Wembanyama could get a really big contract, but basketball doesn't give contracts like this.
Well, they have rules that you can only sign a 5-year contract.
Okay.
So that you're not gonna sign someone for that would be $200 million a year.
I guess I'm saying hypothetically, if there was somebody right now currently playing who's a freak,
yes,
and young,
I think that's a fair comp. Yeah.
So I'll leave more of the soccer route. I think that
soccer, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You see those big contracts.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point too. But in baseball, it'll take a little while.
Yeah. Another big signing was Max Fried going to the Yankees. They clearly made a pretty quick pivot after Juan Soto decided to leave. They signed him for what is the richest contract for a left-handed pitcher in baseball history at 8 years and $218 million, just over $27 million a year. Max Fried's a guy that I thought the Giants should have been going after, and it sounded like they were interested in at least. But yeah, definitely a good pitcher in his prime from the left side. Pitched a lot of big games for the Braves in the postseason over the last few years. So, yeah, nice signing for them. And speaking of the Giants, last but not least here, Willy Adames is coming to the Giants. New shortstop, 7 years, $182 million for him. Interesting pickup. I didn't think they would actually be in the running for him, even though the Giants were looking for a shortstop. But he's a good player. And it seems like a lot of money to give to just a good player.
But he's pretty young, isn't he?
He's going to be 29 this coming season, so he's not young, but he's right in his prime. A lot of reports are that he's a great clubhouse guy, good energy on the field, plays every day too. And outside of last year, the metrics have always been really high on his defense, and he's got some power at the shortstop position. So definitely a nice pickup, but Jesus Christ, and there goes the Niners season. Nice pickup for the Giants, but I can't help but think when they make signings like this, and they extend Matt Chapman. It's like these guys wouldn't be playing on the Dodgers, even, and it's like we're gonna keep being in this cycle of
we're gonna be the little brother of the Dodgers for years.
Yeah,
it's just the reality of the situation.
It's unfortunate. Yeah.
So I listened to some of the Willy Adames press conference today, and they were saying the same kind of things. Really good clubhouse guy. He seems really humble, really happy to be part of this organization. And I know everybody says that, but he seems like he's genuinely happy. And you got to give it to Buster Posey for going out there and getting guys.
For sure, yeah.
Even if they're not like Mookie Betts or if they're fucking
Ohtani or anybody, in that realm. Yeah,
Freeman, yes.
It's tough. It's tough to be a Giants fan right now. It's just it's going to be a never-ending.
Well, the Dodgers shouldn't even be on our scope right now. It should be we don't worry about the Diamondbacks and the Padres.
Well, you're absolutely right.
Shoot for the stars, but be realistic about it.
I think you're right, but at the end of the day,
You do have to get past that.
Eventually, like that's where you need to be. That's who you're realistically competing with for the grand prize. You know, I would love to be in second place this coming season, but at the same time, what's second place mean at the end of the season?
So we could get a wild card spot.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
We know the Dodgers have a history, besides this last year, of kind of blowing it sometimes, and most times blowing it in the postseason. You know, Danny always made the joke they didn't win a World Series in the 162-game season, but now they finally have. Yep. But he was right for a long time.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. So we know that they can do that.
Yeah.
They have that.
They proved it.
They were down, 3-1 or 2-1 to the Padres this year.
2-1 to the Padres, yeah. Padres gave them a good run. Gave them a good run.
So, I mean, we're that close again to having them blow it again.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I guess you could argue that maybe the Giants should be striving to be as good as the Padres. I mean, the Diamondbacks, sure, they made the World Series, but they got kind of embarrassed in the World Series. Maybe a little bit lucky on their route to the World Series as well. But, yeah, it's still an uphill battle from here.
Maybe you go for the Padres for a couple, the next couple of years, and then after that, build and try to get to the Dodgers.
Sure, yeah, it's definitely not a 1 year project at this point, especially when you sign guys to 6 and 7 year contracts. You know, you want things to play out over the length of that contract, not just that year that you get them.
And this Willy Adames contract is, I think, the highest earning contract in the history of the Giants.
It is, yeah. It surpassed Buster Posey's contract. So ironic that he's the one signing off on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like the idea of going for it, but it just sucks when you give out a lot of money to guys that are good, not great players. Yeah. So we talked about Pete Alonso. He's still a free agent. Corbin Burns is another guy the Giants are actually looking at. Former Cy Young winner. Still, in his prime. So that would be a nice target to get. Again, another guy that's not going to take him over the top, but it never hurts to get good players. It's always a good feeling as a fan to watch your team go and try and make moves,
That's a big thing.
Improve.
Wasn't that the biggest thing about the Farham regime was that he seemed like he never did anything?
He did a lot of nickel and diamond, it seemed like.
A lot of money ball.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of baseball fans don't like to hear.
Right. I mean, there is value in that, but I think this day and age, you still have to have some star power.
Of course. In any sport.
Yeah.
You have to have star power.
You're not going to win games with a bunch of guys that are like Mike Yastrzemski and Lamont Wade Jr. Like, I love those guys, but they're Giants players. They're not superstars.
Because even looking back at the Giants' 3 World Series, they had players.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like when it came down to it, they had Buster Posey, Madison Bumgarner, Tim Lincecum.
Yep. And even like Brandon Crawford was an all-star at some point in that run. Pablo Sandoval was an all-star.
Like those aren't like Dodger guys, but they're good enough.
But again, they weren't big name signs.
No, you're right. They were not.
No. Like most of those guys were farm raised,
Yeah.
The farm system, and then
some big acquisitions.
So it can happen, but it seems like right now in baseball,
it's a completely different era, though.
Look at what they had in the World Series. We were talking about it a month ago.
Right.
You had Soto, Judge, and then everybody who the Dodgers have.
Yeah, I think it's a very different era. You like the game is complete. If you watch a baseball game from 2012 versus now, it's not the same game. I mean, guys are throwing 100 left and right. Guys are hitting 40 bombs left and right. It's a completely different game.
Absolutely.
All right, and the only non-baseball news we have before we move on is that Bill Belichick has signed on with the North Carolina Tar Heels to be their head football coach, which is interesting to say the very least.
I was just going to say it's interesting. Apparently he has this Bible, and apparently his son's going to be the successor in 3 years. It's all really weird. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say that he isn't qualified to be the coach of this team because he's Bill Belichick. Right. He's qualified to be any football head coach. Right. But it's interesting he went North Carolina because they're not a powerhouse. Interesting he went college football. Yeah. Because he's only 17 or close to 20 games behind Don Shula for the most head coach wins of all time. You'd think that he'd want to just go after that. Yeah. And you got to think, even if you had 3 mid-years, you're going to pass that. Right. Unless you went 4 wins apiece, then maybe not. But if you won 6 games for the next 3 years in the NFL, you're going to pass that. Right. I mean, I know he is into the history of football, but that's I don't know. That's 18, right? Yeah.
You said 20, didn't you?
Yeah, okay. 7 wins.
Decent math. Yeah. But, I mean, maybe he doesn't care about that. I mean, I could see him being championships are the only thing that matters, which that sounds like...
So he's going to North Carolina for that?
The North Carolina pick is very interesting.
Yeah.
I wanted to know where
the ceiling is the roof.
I didn't hear the thing about his kid, so maybe that's his
apparently
interest in it.
Did Bill Belichick's dad coach at North Carolina also?
I think that might have been.
I think that's, yeah. So I think that's part of why he chose them. But it's odd. I don't see him connecting with 18 to 23-year-olds. That's just my thought.
No, because what can they possibly... I mean, I know he's dating a 25-year-old.
No, that's fucking weird.
But what the hell is he going to have in common with 17, 18, 19-year-old kids?
Yeah.
A 25-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah, right? Is he going to bring...
She's going to be the recruiter, actually.
Is he going to bring his 25-year-old girlfriend when they're sitting on the couch convincing the parents to come?
Have you guys seen a picture of this woman?
She's hot.
Is she? Okay.
Yeah,
good job, Bill.
Yeah,
so she's definitely the recruiter then.
Does he bring more talent to that program, though? Kind of like a Colorado Dion situation?
Well, his whole thing, I think he said on McAfee, he said what he would do, this is before he got the, or before he officially said, or officially agreed to the job.
Yeah.
That if he were to run a program, it would be like a...
Kind of like a John Calipari, like you feeding the pros.
Yeah, you're feeding
putting them on a
kids
path
to go to the NFL.
Yeah.
So I think from that standpoint, it's pretty smart because you're going to get all these kids that say, well, I want to go to the NFL, so why not try to go to this guy who's trying to do that for me?
Yeah.
And in doing that, you're going to have all these kids that are probably 4 or 5 star recruits who are good, so which means you're going to be trying to win a championship anyways because you have all these good kids.
Right.
That are all ballers in high school.
It's genius marketing for sure.
It really is.
Yeah. I mean,
it's going to be really strange on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Seeing him the North Carolina blue.
It is, yeah. And is it going to translate to wins and losses? Like that philosophy. It's
going to take a couple years. I think his contract's only 3 years. So
is it only 3?
I think that's what I heard.
Yeah.
So we might not even see.
I thought it was 5, but maybe it is only 3. I don't know.
It could be 5. Too.
Yeah.
But I don't even think if it was 5. Maybe in that 5th year, if it is 5, you might see it all coming together.
Yeah,
because it's not going to be next. Like look with Deion Sanders, the first year they won their first 3 games, and they won 4 or 5.
Yeah,
they stunk.
Yeah,
this year, different story.
I honestly think he could be one and done.
And go back to the NFL.
If an NFL team calls him, I think he would take that in a heartbeat.
I just don't.
I really do.
Why? Maybe he doesn't want to be this, but why isn't Jerry Jones giving him a call? Maybe he doesn't want to be the head coach of the Cowboys, which I would not blame him.
I could see that.
Shit show.
I could see that.
But if you're Jerry Jones, I hope, which means he probably didn't, give him the call.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't want to deal with Jerry Jones.
Well, it's probably vice versa because I'm sure Jerry Jones doesn't want to give Bill.
Bill wants to
because Bill wants to be the GM.
Well, he's probably seen also the way that he's treated fucking Mike McCarthy. It's like I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So that's probably what it is.
I've been watching TV shows and it sounds like he was interested in the Bears and the Jags job, which
makes sense.
Those are maybe not available.
But I could sleep better at night knowing Jerry Jones just gave him the call. If he just didn't do anything, then it's like, what are you doing?
It's fair. I mean, I could also see that, NFL GMs and owners maybe don't see Bill Belichick as the answer at this point in his life, which I think is totally fair.
Well, I did hear on the radio today, it seems like a lot of NFL teams are going with younger coaches.
Yep. I mean...
For sure. What's his age? 77?
72.
He's old. Yeah.
72, okay.
Yeah. But still pretty old,
Yeah.
And you got to think, too, it's like, when's the last time he coached a really good team in the NFL? When Tom Brady was his quarterback. I know they went to the playoffs with Mac Jones, but that was a one-off situation.
Yeah.
So I think you could argue that he's a little out of touch with the current NFL. There was also reports that he was not happy with the way the NFL game is being played these days. I don't know if that's true or not. It was just kind of a report, but it seems odd that he would say that.
Well, I do give him respect for just going completely like 180. I mean, not 180 because it's the same sport, but just trying something way different that I don't know if he had coached college at any kind of level before this.
I feel like he probably had at some point. Right?
So if that's the case, then I'm happy for him that he's like, you know what? I've done the NFL thing. I've done it better than anybody else ever. I'm gonna try this college thing. Yeah. Why not?
I mean, maybe
it was not like a dream, but something that he kind of wanted to have like a bucket list thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a chance to prove himself too. To if he does want to go back to the NFL, that he can.
Did he ever coach in college? I know he started with the Jets, or
I don't know if he ever was a head coach of like a major program or anything.
He coached the Browns for a
Browns
little bit.
first, then the Jets.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was like he got signed to the Jets as a coach
and then never actually coached.
And then left and went to the Patriots.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
It was something weird like that.
And they brought in Seahawks.
Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Excuse me. Yeah, this doesn't show any former college, like on his Wikipedia page. No college experience.
Jeez.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right, speaking of college football, let's talk about the championship games that happened this past weekend. In the Big 12 championship, Arizona State beat Iowa State 45-19. That was a W on my picks. Yeah. Fork them. Fork it over. Player of the game, running back for the Sun Devils, Cam Scattaboo, 208 yards from scrimmage.
Scattaboo?
Wow. Pretty hell of a name, huh? Have you seen this guy play?
No.
He's like mini Peyton Hillis, Toby Gerhardt, just mini fridge. 3 total touchdowns in the game, and Arizona State earned a bye with that W in the college football playoff.
Arizona State's in the playoff.
They're in the playoff, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great for them.
Do you know what's crazy, too? They were picked to finish last in the Big 12 by the Raiders. And so here they are.
If there's one team that benefited from moving conferences, it's clearly Arizona State.
That's one of them. You got something to say, Danny?
No, I'm good.
No, you're just looking over like you were ready to...
I'm just looking at all the scores.
Nice.
I will say, as a kid, I loved Arizona State because I thought they had the coolest mascot.
I mean, the Sun Devil's a good one.
I love their colors, too.
Yeah. The burgundy.
I had an Arizona State hat as a kid.
And that's the ball game. Yeah. Pretty much. ACC Championship. Clemson pulled a little upset on SMU. 34-31. A little walk-off field goal from 56 yards.
That's... In college, if it's anything over 50 and you make it, I'm impressed.
Yeah. Another W on my picks. SMU, they did trail big. 17 points entering the fourth quarter. Wow. And ended up tying the game with 16 seconds left. Of course, they allow a big kickoff return that set up this field goal for Clemson. Cade Klubnik, 4 touchdown passes for the Tigers. And they're going to the playoff. In the SEC Championship, we saw Georgia beat Texas 22-19 in overtime. A winning pick for you.
Sorry, Dev.
Yep. Trevor Etienne in his return from injury, 124 yards from scrimmage, 2 touchdowns, and the overtime winner. Carson Beck was injured in this game at halftime, essentially. But I forget who the quarterback's name was that came in. Gunner something?
Yeah, Gunner Henderson.
No,
that's a baseball player.
Yeah. Gunner like
Stevenson.
It was like some S. Anyways, yeah.
Devin told me when he came in, I'm sure she's thinking to herself,
yeah,
oh, cool, backup.
Like, we got this.
Yeah. And then he started playing well, and she's like, wait, this guy can actually play.
Right.
Because that's what's funny about the backup quarterbacks of all college teams is they were all probably 5-star guys.
Oh, yeah, especially big programs like Georgia and Texas.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Honestly, not trying to rant, but this is a bad loss for Texas. I mean, Texas is a team, they don't have a lot of great wins this season, but... They have athletes all over the field. They have a veteran quarterback. They have an experienced head coach. They come into this game as the favorites. They should be the favorites to win the national championship. But yet they come into a game like this, turn the ball over 3 times, 11 penalties in this game, settling for a bunch of field goals. This was supposed to be their team, and they've laid an egg. They have a pretty reasonable path to at least get to the semifinals of the playoffs. But letting this one slip away was kind of bad on their resume.
So I do hear what you're saying, but you got to think of it this way: they have 2 losses, correct?
Yeah.
They're both to Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia, who in the past 5 years has won 2 national championships, so we know they can coach.
Right.
We know that they have the players.
Yeah. And
I think as long as Texas doesn't have to play them, they probably feel pretty good. Obviously, if they play them one more time, it's going to be in their heads. It can't not be.
Wouldn't that be crazy if there was another rematch like of them playing in the national championship?
It would.
That'd be pretty wild.
It would. So I think Texas' mindset is we have to be prepared if we have to play them again.
Yeah.
But we don't. The chances of us having to play them again is probably pretty slim.
Yeah.
See, it's kind of what you have to do. They're in. They're not going to play Georgia and play until the national championship if it gets.
That's the only way they would play them. Yeah.
So you got to focus on that.
Yeah.
And then
I'm just not sure they beat Oregon. That's my fear here.
Someone better beat Oregon. That's all I gotta say. So Texas, I understand what you're saying, but I think you lost twice to a team that has been really good, or a program that's been really good the past few years.
Counter argument though is this is like, if you're talking about like this 5-year window that Georgia's in of being really good, this is clearly their worst team they've had. I think
that's fair.
Yeah, they're clearly their worst team. So this is kind of the opportunity that they should be pouncing on to take the reins of the SEC and make a run at the national championship. And they have their chance. They do have a chance. Yeah. But this was definitely not something that their fans should be... this didn't make their fans feel any better about their team. There's no question about it.
No.
I do feel like Texas had a lot of like close games against not great teams.
Yeah.
And when you're playing those teams as the number one in the country at the time, you got to slow them out, right?
Yeah. And I think, too, like, I think a lot of people made a big deal about when they beat Michigan early in the season because that was a fun, like, ranked non-conference matchup. But Michigan turned out to not be that great.
Yeah.
So that one didn't look as good on paper. They struggled against Vanderbilt and some of the other, like, middle-of-the-road SEC teams during the season. So we'll see what happens. I mean, they got a great chance. And like I said, they have everything on paper in their favor. But they got to go out and execute because...
Sometimes teams just have your number.
That's totally true. That's totally true.
Like, we're looking at your Niners right now. They could lose twice to the Rams.
Yep.
I know it's different. The pros, they play them twice every year. The Niners were smacking up the Rams for years before this.
This is true.
Also,
right.
one more
go for it.
Devin said, I asked her, I was like, is this like a new budding hatred now, Georgia? Because she just, she's been a Texas fan for this year. She's like, yeah, it kind of is. Because, it's their only 2 losses to the same team.
That'd be a reason to not like them for sure.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame her.
And they're like the 2 powers of the SEC, right? I know Alabama's still in the mix. Tennessee's kind of a up-and-coming team as well. But yeah, they're, I would say clearly on paper, the 2 best teams in the NFC. Yeah. The Rams really going for this now. In the Big Ten Championship, we had Oregon beat Penn State 45-37. This game was actually a lot more interesting than I thought it would be. W for you on your picks. We did really well this week, by the way. Yeah.
I've been ass this whole year, so I get something right.
Yeah. Penn State, I will give them credit. They put up a better fight than I expected because they've kind of they haven't really been tested this year. They lost their biggest game, essentially, to Ohio State. And kind of got dominated. Dylan Gabriel, 4 touchdown passes.
Future Cowboy.
Yeah, right. He's not going to win the Heisman, but he put together a really stellar season for Oregon. Penn State, like I said, they put up a good fight, had no problem rushing the ball, 297 yards on the ground in a losing effort.
With Oregon, and I can't say I've watched a lot, but in the past with Oregon, they always just seem like they get beaten by the more physical teams.
Yep.
All the years that they've been relevant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why, I think a Georgia-Oregon national championship game would be very interesting. I think Oregon's definitely sexier, but Georgia plays in the SEC. I don't know that Oregon puts together a 13-0 season playing in the SEC. And that's always the question marks of the teams that come from other conferences, would they do this in the SEC? Well, now we got a big old playoff to prove it here. Also, Boise State, they beat UNLV in the Mountain West Championship game 21-7. They earned themselves a bye in the playoff. Pretty crazy to think that they're a 3 seed in the playoff. And also Army, they beat Tulane 35-14 in the AAC. That was the only loss between the 2 of us. Unfortunately, it was yours and all the bowl picks.
I didn't give Army the respect, and they made me pay.
They did. That was impressive. Good for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's like one of their first ever like conference championships because I think they played independent for a long time too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I lost because of it, but good for them.
CFP bracket, we're looking at the top 4 seeds. We got number 1 Oregon, number 2 seed Georgia, number 3 seed Boise State, and like we said, number 4 Arizona State. Pretty wild.
It is wild. Just to hear Arizona State.
Yeah. It's certainly something that's being talked about as a flaw in the CFP system that they're using as of right now, and it's certainly something that I could see being changed in the coming years. But the fact that they put so much emphasis on winning your conference championship game, because Arizona State is the 12th ranked team, yet they're the 4th seed in this tournament.
Yeah.
So you could argue it doesn't really make sense, but that's the way they set it up before the season, so everybody knew what was going to happen, give or take. But our first round matchups are going to be number 12 Clemson at number 5 Texas, which we talked about this last week. I love the fact that the first round is going to have home games for the higher seed.
It's fun.
I think it's really cool to have it on site. In the winner of, we got a little horse collar, gave us some extra yards. Niners are on the brink here, but down 12-6 with 11 seconds left.
That's a horse collar. Roy Williams would be proud.
Yeah, the winner of Clemson and Texas is going to play Arizona State, so that's kind of like that's a gift for Texas, assuming they can get by Clemson.
Or I think a gift for maybe either team.
Yeah, really. Yeah, either team. I mean, Clemson is the lowest seed in this tournament, ranking, as well.
That's going to be a nice battle of orange teams.
There's a lot of orange on the field. Maybe Clemson will wear some purple in this one, just to balance it out.
Their purple unis are nice.
They're not bad.
Do they wear them often?
It's one of those ones that's mixed in every once in a while.
Yeah.
In the 8-9 matchup, we got Tennessee at Ohio State. Winner's going to play Oregon. That's a huge matchup of big brands in the first round. That's going to be fun.
Danny, who you got in that one?
Tennessee, Ohio State.
Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me.
I didn't think we were going to get that voice on this show today. It's beautiful.
Is that what they do? Is that what they sing?
Yeah, old Rocky Top.
Rocky Top.
Okay.
You need a beer.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Nice. Hey, you better be wearing that shirt I just gave you when they're fucking playing.
I'm never going to take it off.
Good.
For the end of time?
Well, and if they win, you can't wash it. I don't care if you spilled a bit of beer on it. You got to let it rest.
Yeah. Just adds flavor.
Exactly.
Oh, wait, next season when I bust it out, I can drink a little beer off my shirt.
Yeah, if they win the Natty, you cannot wash that shirt until they lose.
Yeah. You might just have to pin it on your wall somewhere.
But if you guys do win, you got to play Oregon. Yeah.
Fuck Oregon.
Thank you.
That was easy.
Thank you.
In the 11-6 matchup, we got SMU at Penn State. Winner's going to play Boise State. And then, last but not least, in the 10-7 matchup, we got Indiana at Notre Dame. In-state matchup here in the first round, which is kind of cool. Winner will play Georgia. That's not going to be fun for whoever wins this game. Biggest news, I guess, biggest snub would be Alabama getting left out. They were 11th ranked.
Shucks.
Wah. I honestly thought they were going to put them in. The debate was between them and SMU. Alabama had a much better strength of schedule and strength of victory, but I guess the committee decided that they didn't want to punish SMU for playing in their conference championship game.
And that's the ball game.
And the Niners are done.
And the Niners lose.
Not shocking. Did you
What
hear
did
what
it
it said?
say?
We're going to Monaco.
I need to do a better recording.
You gotta work on that.
I didn't say that, by the way. I actually got it off my phone. Yeah, so I have it saved, so we can figure out a better sound for it.
But I like that though.
It's there.
I like where your head's at.
The Niners are going to Monaco because season's over.
Nick Bosa is like, I'm not tripping. Trump won the election.
Yeah.
So at least something won.
Yeah. Oh,
One
man.
of his teams.
Hey, he's like, this red wave can't win, but at least my red wave won.
Right. All right, so I'm with 3-0 this week. You went 2-1 in picks.
Hey,
how about it? Let's look at our overall records.
I will take that
quick.
given my record this season. Not good.
I do want to flex a little bit. 25-11-1 on the season.
Go to Vegas.
Should. Gage is 16-21, so looking a little bit more respectable compared to a few weeks back.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It is actually my turn to pick. However, I'm going to defer to you if you want it. You can defer back.
What is the spread?
So the line is number 22 Army versus Navy. Army 6.5-point favorites.
You're gonna let me go first?
If you want it.
I'm gonna take Army. I'm not gonna make the same mistake twice.
There you go. So Gage is taking Army minus 6.5.
Are you okay with having Navy?
Fuck it. Hey, I like a little dog action in this game. It could be.
You take me as a sailor.
Well, I'm drinking. What do you know?
Hey, the most famous Navy alumni.
Sabeck?
There we go.
You didn't even know that, Gage. I had to tell you that. You're a Cowboy fan.
We were watching it was probably Army Navy at Dover.
Yeah, I think so.
And Danny was like, "Who's the most well-known Navy alumni?" And I was
And
like,
you knew this when you were asking the question?
No, he looked it up. No, he asked me. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then he was looking up. He's like, "You should know this." I'm like, "Why?" He said, "Roger Staubach." And I was like, "Yeah, duh, like won the fucking Heisman for Navy, I think."
Oh, he did win. Yeah, that's right. Forgot that part. All right, Gage, you got a fun game for us?
I
that
do.
Played the last couple of years? Just run it back.
Did we do this 2 years ago, or did I start this last year?
I feel like we did it a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
So it's that time again for Guess That Bowl Game, or maybe Name That Bowl Game.
Yeah.
I think Name That Bowl Game has a better ring to it.
Sounds right.
This game is so nice that Colin Coward did it on his show last year.
And Gage is going to do it twice.
Okay, so fellas, I'm have you both guess.
Yeah.
So I have 10 options. 5 are real, 5 are not real. So I'll give you each one. Give me the bell, just so. Let me see the face on this. Let me see. Come on, seriously. There we go.
Technology. What are you going to do with it?
You love it. Okay, so the first one. The Cricket Celebration Bowl. Is that real or is that not real? Danny, you go first.
Not real.
Cricket Celebration Bowl. I'm going to go real.
Emerson? It is real.
Let's go!
It is Jackson State versus South Carolina State.
Jackson State. Little former
Deion
action, yeah.
The second one. The Department of Industrial Relations Bowl. Danny?
He's got to go first.
Oh, you go first?
Go back and forth. Okay. Department of what?
Industrial Relations Bowl.
God, if you came up with that, that'd be impressive. I'm going to say it's not real.
Okay, Danny?
My instinct was to say not real. But now part of me is like, do I go the opposite just to make it... No, I'll stick with not real.
You guys are both right. It is not real. The third one. The Staff DNA Cure Bowl.
Staff DNA Cure Bowl.
Is that real or is that not real?
Don't Google it. This guy
No.
in the Google.
I told him a few days ago to not look at any names.
Staff DNA Cure Bowl. I'm going to say...
Wait,
real.
no.
Oh, yeah, it's sister.
I'm going to say not real.
Okay.
I'm going real.
Emerson?
3 for 3!
It is real. The fourth one. The Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. Sorry, the Staff DNA Cure Bowl is Ohio versus Jacksonville State.
Nice. Love Jackson.
Not Jackson State, Jacksonville State.
A lot of Jacksons.
Yeah. Number 4 is the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. Is it Danny first?
That's me first.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Snoop Dogg's got a bowl. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's real.
I was going to say real because Snoop Dogg, he's a football guy.
Yeah. Nice.
Real. That is Miami of Ohio versus Colorado State.
4 for 4, baby.
Number 5, the Sunny Select Florida Bowl.
God, that one sounds real. Yeah, I'm going to go real.
I'll go not real.
Got it.
Emerson, you got it.
Damn it.
I'm killing this year. I did terrible last year.
You did bad last year.
Did you come up with these fake ones or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Number 6, the Relia Quest Bowl.
I'm gonna say it's real.
Danny.
I'll have to say not real so I can try to catch up.
Emerson, you are real. That is Alabama versus Michigan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a nice.
Oh, it's ReliaQuest.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that doesn't count. I would have had it.
You would you?
Yeah.
We can scratch that one, man.
This guy.
We can scratch that
No,
one.
I'm 6 for 6.
Number 7, the Clover Brands LLC Irish Heritage Bowl.
Whoa, that's a lot. It's a mouthful.
Sounds like something Notre Dame would be a part of. Is it mine?
Yeah, it does sound like it.
Yeah, I'll say real. Fuck it.
I'll go real as well. The first one?
Both wrong.
Damn.
That is not real.
You're fucking wild.
Yeah,
How many words were in that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then if you count the LLC, 6.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Look at you.
Thank you. Number 8, the Scotch Tape Bowl.
I'm going to go not real.
Okay.
God damn it.
It's probably going to be real. Go for it.
I think I have to try to catch up. I would originally have said not real, but I'll go real. Fuck it.
Emerson?
Yeah.
You're right. Number 9. The Serve Pro First Responder Bowl.
That would be mine.
Mm-hmm.
Not real.
I think it's real.
Emerson?
Yeah.
You are absolutely right. That is North Texas versus Texas State.
Ooh, the Texas matchup.
Yep. And the 10th and final one, Emerson, you've been very impressive. Danny, I understand that you're kind of going against him to try to catch up, so I can't give you that much.
took advantage of a big lead here.
So number 10, the Keen Fingertip Grip Bowl.
Real.
Okay.
I know that guy. He's my cousin. That's his nickname. And he doesn't have a bowl. It's not real.
Danny, you're right. Not real. It's a not real bowl game.
Is that a real product or brand or whatever?
Yeah. I did all these while I was on my lunch break, and we were where the volunteers count their money, and it's like the stuff that you put on your fingers to count money faster.
Nice.
It's called Keen Fingertip Grip.
I love it.
So I wasn't keeping track, but Emerson, you got...
I think I got 8.
You got 8 out of 10.
Fucking...
Danny, you probably got 5.
You gotta put in some work next year, make it harder.
I'm
kidding. No, those are really good. Yeah. I gotta give it to you. Those are really
Thank
good.
You. Because a lot of them are the ones, and with this new CFP,
there's fewer bowls.
There's fewer bowls to have these kind of weird names.
Yeah.
And so and you have to go for the that don't.
Yeah, you can't pick a Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
I was expecting Tostito Bowl, Cheez-It Bowl.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't do the Pop-Tart Bowl because we all know that. The Cheez-It Bowl, I knew we'd do that. So it's the ones Riley, I didn't even know how to say it.
ReliaQuest,
yeah. The Snoop Dogg one, I thought I could get you because it seems
a little
too obvious to be a guessed one.
Right.
So that was Name That Bowl Game. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
Nicely done.
I hope the listeners did. Hope the watchers did. And we will absolutely do it again next year. I like doing this. It's fun.
Yeah, that was good. Good stuff. Gage, let's set it off with the NFL if you could.
Should we mention the Niners real quick?
No.
Okay.
They did.
Well, we actually are going to.
Yeah.
We actually are going to start this because the 49ers did beat the Bears on Sunday 38-13. Of course, they lost to the Rams today. What was it?
So was that the Niners are back or they played the Bears?
They played the Bears.
I'm going to say, after watching this game, they played the Bears.
I think that's fair.
Anything you boys want to say about that game?
They kicked ass, which was great to see, but it definitely felt like the Bears were a team that were playing with an interim coach in his first week.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question about that. They had 4 yards of offense in the first half to the Niners 3 something.
Yeah. I enjoy this one personally because it gave you guys hope, and now the hope is gone.
That's okay. Fuck you, but okay.
Because now I don't think you guys are technically eliminated, but it's not looking good.
Not on paper yet, but it's close. Yeah. The other thing too is they really couldn't afford to lose another divisional game. So I think that's why this one matters more than, say, if they lost to the Dolphins or the Lions later in the season.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
how many division games have you guys won?
2. No.
1.
Beat the Seahawks.
That's right.
And they still have the Cardinals left on the schedule, but yeah, they're 1-4 in the division. It's pretty brutal.
Speaking of brutal, kind of for me, the Bengals beat my Cowboys 27-20 on Monday Night Football. But luckily for me, Gage's guarantee, I did not have to drink Mad Dog 2020, as you could tell.
Let's take shots.
Yeah, let's take a shot. Because I think going 3 for 3 is pretty impressive.
But also soft, because you should have picked tougher guarantees.
Tougher guarantees?
I'm not fucking with you.
Don't pick division games. Can't do it.
I'm just telling you that I think it should be a rule that if you nail all of them,
but
weak.
I will tell
you get the biggest shot.
I will tell Travis, who did give us the idea for Mad Dog, out of many people who did give us ideas.
Yeah,
I'm going to do it next year as well.
Mad Dog?
Yeah, I think it's only fair.
I think you should do something different.
No, because all of a sudden
either that or you have to drink like a glass of it.
All of a sudden you found out it's good. Apparently, have you tried it?
No, but I've heard
How
it's
can you
just
say
not
it's
that
good?
bad.
Come on.
No, I didn't say it was good. Just not that bad.
We'll talk about it. I think out of respect for Travis, I feel like I have to go through with it and try. Because I'm going to do it again next year. I'll do at least 3. I'm going to get 1 wrong. Maybe.
I think you should have
I'm pretty good
I think
at
if
this.
you get 1 wrong, you should have to do 3 shots of it.
Oh, yeah, you can't do a shot. I thought you were going to drink, like, the whole thing.
Ooh.
Well, no.
I'm not trying to take this guy to the fucking hospital.
No.
That's what's going to make it bad.
Well, I was thinking about maybe doing, like, some kind of...
You can't do a shot of it.
No, I'd have him do, like, a cocktail. Maybe, like with a shot, too. Like, I'm not going to drink a whole, like, 5th of Mad Dog 2020 on a work night. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry.
You could do it on a day off.
Well, that's different.
Yeah.
I mean, I would consider doing that, but it's hard because of your work schedule.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, you could film it on your own.
No, I'm just saying, like, you do just the drinking part.
Oh, on my own. Okay,
yeah.
that's different.
Just going to throw that out there.
Okay.
But we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Do a little live stream.
Yeah.
So here's to the Cowboys losing, and here's to me not drinking Mad Dog this
Let me
season.
do this on.
Yeah, get in here, Dan.
There we go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yep. That wasn't easy.
So, of course, I was really close to actually drinking Mad Dog because the Cowboys,
They tried to win.
they tried to win. Bengals, what is it, like probably 2 or 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They punt it on their own 25, 30
Yeah,
yard line.
they're definitely in their own end. Yeah.
It gets blocked, and the Cowboys...
tipped.
Tipped.
Which I think is a big factor
tipped.
there.
But actually, it gets tipped and goes behind the player that tipped it, which I feel like is pretty rare.
That is wild.
I think anytime you tip it, it goes forward.
Yeah.
Or somehow.
Yeah.
It went probably 25 yards behind him, which it's just weird.
Yeah.
It's weird watching it.
He didn't get all of it. He just got kind of like a half a finger or so.
And then the Cowboys, I think DB, safety, tried to catch it, went through his hands, which makes it a live ball, and then the Bengals recover it. They get first down. And
that's a tough way to...
3 plays later, Jamar Chase, who cooked the Cowboys defense the entire game, scores a touchdown, and that's how the Cowboys lose. And that, my friends, is what I call classic Cowboys.
That's like if they were a contending team right now and they lost an important game that way, that's really tough way to swallow.
Well, and that's why I'm not taking this loss bad at all, because for one, I was happy because I didn't have to drink Mad Dog, for one.
Yeah.
To me, the season, it's already over.
Yeah.
I wanted the Cowboys to not win any more football games for the rest of the season after Dak went down anyways. And like you said, this wasn't like an NFC Championship game. It wasn't a divisional playoff game. Hell, it wasn't even like a game.
I mean, Dak's not playing.
It wasn't like a Week 18 against the Commanders to win the division.
It's not to keep their playoff hopes alive or anything like that.
So, I mean, I don't think... Like, people are comparing to Leon Lett, all that kind of stuff.
No, not even close, as far as the circumstances.
Cowboys fans aren't going to remember this play in 5 years.
No.
Maybe not even 5.
Maybe they'll laugh about it at some point.
Of course.
But
it wasn't like... Yeah, this wasn't a make-or-break play for the season. So, I mean, I understand how it is kind of... The Cowboys seem snake-bitten. I saw that. And they are snake-bitten, don't get me wrong. This didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll mention about the Cowboys is, did you guys catch the Simpsons stream at all?
I saw some highlights of it.
Devin and I tuned in because Devin's a huge Simpsons fan.
It's goofy as fuck.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It is a good way to get kids involved in games. Same like they do the Nickelodeon streams or whatever.
I agree. I 100% agree.
And that is a reason why that game was 100% guaranteed to be on Monday. They would have never changed that game.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of all the animation that went towards it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess on paper, it's the Cowboys. People are going to watch the Cowboys regardless. You got Joe Burrow.
They'll do something like that every year. Because they did it last year with Toy Story.
Toy Story. And I agree with you. I think kids are into it. Because I think we turned on for Theo and he got like mad when we changed it back because it's just like, it's animated.
Right. I mean, I'll take the animated side, but do you think kids have, like, especially nowadays, do you think they associate with the Simpsons characters?
I think anything animated is fun. It's different.
I do see what you're saying. Because even Simpsons is still relevant. The Toy Story is too because they keep coming out movies, which they should have stopped at 3.
I think another one's coming out.
Argue with your mother. I don't care.
Yeah,
they should have stopped. But I think I agree with Danny. It could be as long as it's animated.
That's why.
As long as the colors are bright, it looks fun.
Right,
they'll be into it.
Yeah.
Notable Week 14 scores. The Seahawks beat the Cardinals 30-18. My boy, Zach Charbonnet, 193 yards from scrimmage, 2 touchdowns.
Big game.
Huge game. He actually gave me hope going into Monday night. It didn't work out, but he's been sitting pretty on my bench probably since September in fantasy.
Yeah.
Because Kenny Walker, he's a Band-Aid.
You got to have those handcuffs sometimes in fantasy football.
If I would have won last week, I would have been like, wow, I feel like a genius for holding on to Charbonnet for this long.
Right.
Didn't happen, but I am happy that Charbonnet, I got to give him the salute. He tried his damn best to keep me in it.
How does it feel to be in the same position as me now? Because I have a gripe with you. I don't think I ever talked shit to you about beating you.
No, you did.
No, what did I say?
First,
was I in your face?
No, because we were texting. You can't be. I was at Target when you were talking shit to me. And also, I looked back and you even gave me the fucking DeAndre Hopkins taunt. I saw that.
Oh, I do that every week.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's talking shit to me. You're talking a little shit.
Oh, you're sensitive.
Although, I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive. Okay. Also, ESPN Fantasy, they need to make sure that if someone taunts you, the next time you go on the app, you see it instead of having it on messages.
Oh, that's the only way you saw it?
Sometimes I'll click on it because, I think
the message thing is weird too.
it is weird.
Yeah.
That's the only way you see it. Like, it doesn't pop up on your screen. I feel like it should pop up on your screen when you look at the matchup between the person you're doing it with.
I agree.
Just so it really, really gets.
This is the first year I've seen it, so
I think it's the first year they've done it.
Yeah.
But I thought you were going to say because I said you'd be in 7th place that week, and then you end up being in 7th place. I was like, yeah, you can beat me this week, but you're going to be in 7th place in 2 weeks, so it doesn't matter. But how does it feel to be the same as you? It sucks. I love you, but,
especially when I won 5 in a row to end the season.
Yeah. Those are the breaks,
Should have been.
And I want to say, I beat both of you guys.
When you beat me, my God. I mean, it didn't seal my playoff fate at that point, but I was definitely not happy.
That was the craziest game.
The way, because that game going to overtime and all that shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was payback for the Ryan Tannehill.
Oh God, dude.
That's a good pull. I forgot about that.
So that's payback.
Yeah, I guess so. Hey.
No, well, the Tannehill one hurt more because that knocked me out of playoffs.
That Tannehill one was blatant.
That was bad.
That was so bad.
That was bad.
And it wasn't even talked about.
What do you mean?
In the game, no announcer mentioned.
I mean, they showed it, but they didn't make a big. I mean, the game was a blowout.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they didn't make a big deal about it. But it was a blatant missed call.
That'll be legendary forever in our friend group.
Blatant missed call.
I punched your wall. You're outside of your house.
I forgot about that.
That was so bad.
I've never seen you. I don't think I've ever seen you so mad over anything. Because if that happened to me, I'd be fucking floored. I wouldn't even know what I would do with myself if I lost like that.
That'd be in the realm of reasons to quit fantasy football. Yeah. I'll give you that. Carry on.
So the Seahawks, they stay atop the NFC West at 8-5.
Sitting pretty right now. Although the Rams just won, so that makes things interesting in the NFC West game.
Speaking of the Rams, they beat the Bills, believe it or not, 44-42. Josh Allen, 3 touchdown passes, 3 rushing touchdowns. He's the first player to ever do that in history.
Pretty wild, and to do it in a losing effort too.
That's tough.
Even crazier.
Puka Nacua, apparently he weighs 230 pounds. 12 receptions, 162 yards, 1 touchdown.
Hey, big body.
Big body. He's like James.
He's like James.
Big body. Big body.
I need another beer after that one.
Thank you.
I'll crack you.
Thank you. Chill. The Chiefs, can you believe it? Steal another one to beat the Chargers 19-17. They have 10th win by 1 score this season. Wow.
It's insane. I mean, I'm not going to call them lucky because they are a good situational team. But it's just, how does this keep happening?
It's Patriots.
Yeah, it is.
It's Patriots light, Patriots.
I mean, it's Patriots, but even to another level.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but this is the game, even though it was close, I didn't see, some ridiculous call.
No.
At least that was, which I've seen in previous ones with the Chiefs.
Yeah, sure. Also, the Chiefs were actually kind of dominating this game early on. and then the Chargers made a good comeback to get there.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs are just they're incredible because they don't seem to do a lot of things well. But if you look at the numbers, they're by far the best team on third down, and I think that's what makes them so good. They keep their defense off the field.
Situational.
They extend drives. I mean, they're not good in the red zone, but they extend drives. They score points on almost every drive.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty remarkable what they do without looking very good.
Week 14 stuff that I had. Another scoregami. Jets 26, Dolphins 32. That is the 1,089th unique score in NFL history.
Really? I was not aware of that one.
Yep.
30. You said 32-26?
Yep.
All right. Nice.
Yep. Also, the Vikings beat Kirk Cousins in his Minnesota return.
Did not beat them.
They smacked the fuck out of
It
him.
was a good game until like the late third quarter. It started getting out of hand.
Kirk Cousins, I didn't realize he has not played well in the past 4 or 5 games.
Kind of cheeks.
He's
thrown a lot of picks.
It's Penix.
Yeah, he's been throwing some picks. It might just be, at least pretty close.
Another thing I had is because when we had this last podcast, the Lions had already beaten Green Bay.
Yeah, it was wrapping up.
Which is a big deal.
It's a big win, yeah.
And then I said the Chiefs find a way again.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome home. Who are you flipping off? Yeah, they suck.
Oh, yeah.
We know they suck. Cheers to the Niners.
Was it worse than the Warriors lost last night? Because that was
Fuck off! Jesus Christ! Happy holidays!
What?
For real.
Well, that stays in.
that Warriors loss was fantastic last night.
That was a pretty brutal way to lose.
The Warriors are on the basketball's not on this docket, huh?
Not today.
I was gonna.
There's last call.
Yeah.
There's last call.
Yeah,
There's last
yeah,
call. There's last call. Danny, anything you want to mention from week 14?
The Bills lost. That was cool.
That was cool.
For some. Maybe not others.
It was cool that the Bills and the Longhorns lost.
Oof.
No reasoning, but that was cool that they both lost.
Pretty surprising the two really good teams they lost this week, you're right.
Which one? What were the two teams again?
The Bills and the Horns.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I told Dev, I was like, tough football weekend.
You'll have better weekends.
You'll have way better weekends, I can promise you that. Some big week 15 matchups. Bills at Lions. Speaking of the Bills, that is going to be...
That's hot.
That's actually going to be a 1 o'clock CBS game, which I understand why, because they have AFC.
Bloody Marys.
I think I would love to see... Yeah, okay, I like that. I would like to see this as a Sunday night game, but I think...
It doesn't matter, actually. It really doesn't.
Okay.
It's a game, you know?
Okay.
The game's a game,
Yeah.
right? Give us some more good action during the regular...
We ain't talking practice. We're talking the game.
The other game, Steelers at Eagles.
That's a good one.
Russell Wilson, he's not washed.
Russ.
Not like those dishes. He's not washed.
The Broncos are probably not too happy with themselves.
Bo Nix has played well, though.
True.
Yeah. And I just don't think that...
It wasn't a fit.
It was not a good fit. He has surprised me how well he's played this year.
Absolutely. And then the Packers at the Seahawks. That is Sunday night.
Yep. That's a good game.
That's a good game.
And I'm not mad about that one.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
So I'll take that.
Go Pack, go, eh?
One stadium I really want to go to, I've said it a million times, I want to see a Seahawks game in Seattle. I think it'd be fun.
What's it called now?
Over Lambeau, huh?
I would say Lambeau.
Yeah, I would think Lambeau.
Well,
Lambeau in November, December?
I just love the vibe of the Seahawks stadium.
It's definitely considered
It'd have to be
great atmosphere.
Like a night game. If I can go to any night game, I'd love to go to a Seattle night game.
It does look good and it got that vibe.
Yeah, right? You know,
from TV. Yeah, no, it does.
Yeah.
Even as a Niner fan, like when we go play there, it's pretty cool. Like it's got some big.
Obviously, going to
big
Lambeau, like
vibes.
Soldier Field, how could you not? But something about that Seattle night game, it just hits different. Mm-hmm. It really just does.
They need to bring CenturyLink back as the name.
Yeah. What is it?
Because it's Lumen, right? Or is it? Maybe it's even changed
Lumen
since then.
Field might be.
Because it's been that for a little while.
Player of the week. Emerson, lead it off.
You gonna let me go? I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Sam Darnold. 5 touchdown passes, and I think it's cool that he did it against the guy that he replaced on the Vikings and Kirk Cousins. 5 touchdowns, 347 yards passing. My honorable mention is probably going to be one of your guys, so you go.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to pick Jordan Addison, also Minnesota Viking.
Not who I was thinking.
8 receptions, 133 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. And so here's the kicker.
He burned you.
For me. I traded Sal Jordan Addison in like late October, I believe. And Addison was one of the main reasons why Sal beat me this week, because Addison clearly had 3 touchdowns. And I played Sal in the first round of playoffs last week.
Yeah.
And it was...
Well, he's actually, ever since you traded him, he's actually been putting up some decent numbers.
Yeah.
Not every week.
Kind of like his average off and on, like Sal would probably tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that, like, he was my guy, I drafted him.
Yeah.
I drafted that guy. Traded him to Sal.
Yeah.
Was like, you can have him. Sloppy seconds. I don't need him.
Sloppy seconds.
And then he made me pay.
Yeah.
I have to give him player of the week because of that.
Kind of feel the same way about Jalen Waddle in a way, because he had his best games after I traded him to Sal.
Yeah.
Equally.
And of course, honorable mention has to be the same guy, Josh Allen.
I wasn't going to go Josh Allen.
Wow, who are we going to go?
Well, because Josh Allen did his deed in a losing effort.
Oh, well, that's my honorable mention.
Yeah, fair enough. I was going to go Jamar Chase because we couldn't give him his flowers technically in the best game that he had, because that was in a losing effort against the Ravens a few weeks back. But he had a monster game against Cowboys on Monday night.
So for me, honorable mention, it could be a losing effort.
Okay, fair enough.
Is that fair?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Because I can't. I'd want to give it to Josh Allen, but he lost. We have one rule in Player of the Week: you have to win.
Sure.
Josh Allen, 22 for 37, 342 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 10 carries, 82 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, like we said earlier.
An insane stat line.
First player, like I said, both 3 and 3 passing, receiving in NFL history. But they lost to the Rams 44-42. But he scored 51 points in our league. Probably was more in other leagues.
Yeah.
And I can't say I see 51 often. Or 50 points often for one player.
No.
It's insane.
You had
Saquon that had like 44 a couple weeks ago, right?
Right.
50. You hit 50. That is a massive week.
It's pretty wild.
You can't. I mean, if you have 50, you're not going to lose for one player, for the most part.
The rest of your team would have to shit the bed. I mean, pretty much. It is an interesting trend that we've seen Josh have some of his most outrageous statistical lines in losing efforts.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just because he's doing more because they're losing or what, but obviously not something that he's loving. Yeah. Putting that kind of effort together and not getting a W. But
so are we allowed to have honorable mentions be losers?
We've never, we've never made that distinction. I
just feel like Josh Allen had to be my honorable mention.
That's Let me check the rule book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
You know who's not an honorable mention is that guy on the television right there.
That's Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
For people not watching the TV with us right now.
Or listening.
I don't even want. I mean, I know we're consolation, but consolation. Excuse me.
Consolation. Yeah.
He probably got me like 2.5 points, something like that.
He made some plays. He had more than that, but he also dropped some balls. Pretty nice.
It's insane.
Yeah, gotta love it.
He has not scored touchdowns since
week
early October. Early October.
Love it. Week 14 picks recap.
I wanted to mention my player of the week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I'm glad it kind of got brought up earlier tonight. Well, mine goes to Bart Simpson. And specifically his touchdown to Ralph Wiggum. It was fantastic.
Was he playing Joe Burrow's position?
No, this was for the Cowboys.
Cooper Kupp? Not Cooper Kupp. Cooper Rush?
So that can't be they lost that game. So that can't be player of the week.
I looked at the rules. It counts. And I think they played on both sides of the ball.
Okay.
I definitely thought I saw Bart playing in the orange and black.
I could be wrong, but... Okay, continue.
Good stuff. All right, not a good week for us in picks this past week, Gage.
Mine are bad.
Both 1 and 2. We both only won our $100 pick.
Oof. That's bad.
Oof. You did have a tough one. New Orleans -4. They won by 3. Not great. I didn't score well at all. Just plain and simple. I scored on the Niners. You scored on the Cowboys losing. That's about it. Overall records, Gage, you're 16-20. You're minus 1,200 in the hole here right now. So you got some work to do. Got some work to do. Only 4 games under 500, so that's not terrible. I'm 19-16-1. I'm down to plus 100. Who you got this week?
$300 pick. I'm going Chiefs -4 at the Browns. You know how much I love those road favorites.
Road favorites.
Oh, the Chiefs. The Browns haven't been great. Chiefs also win close, so I think that's why the line is the way it is.
It's a line I wanted. Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. If you want it, I want it. My $200 pick. I'm going to go Cardinals -6 versus the Patriots.
Another line I wanted.
The Patriots kind of stink.
They're bad.
Cardinals are playing for something at this point still.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a Cardinals win.
Like Cardinals win, Seahawks lose.
Yeah.
They're only game out of first place. So it's there.
Then $100 pick, I'm going Packers -2.5 at the Seahawks.
Seahawks lose, Cardinals win. Cardinals are only down by 1 game. So you're riding that wave. Go Cardinals.
Feeling like a fucking $600 week for me.
On my side, I'm taking the Cowboys. Your Cowboys.
Yeah, you stole my pick. Thanks.
Plus points.
I know.
Plus points
Against the
Panthers.
First time the Panthers have been favored since 2022.
It's rush hour, baby.
Think so?
It is. Yeah, that's.
I agree. I mean, I picked them. You stole them from me.
They really have been, over the last 3 weeks, a halfway decent team within that quarterback. Halfway decent.
Yeah.
They could have easily beat the Bengals. I know the Bengals are not great, but the Bengals are better than the Panthers, right? So that's where my.
I certainly would have put a Gage's guarantee on the Panthers beating the Cowboys.
No, I don't think that would be a smart move. That'd be a Mag Dog 2020 coming right in your face. Pause. $200 pick. I'm going with the Houston Texans -3 against the Dolphins.
It's a good one.
They're better. Let's just put it that way. It's basically a pick 'em. We also have my last pick is going to be the Vikings -7 against the Bears. This wasn't my favorite pick, partially because you stole a couple of mine. But yeah, I think just the Bears are kind of in shambles right now. So
yeah.
It's the Vikings time. The Vikings shocking 11-2. Crazy to think that they've reached that point, but they're having a hell of a year.
This is the first week I would say this year that we actually stole a couple of each other.
Yeah, I mean, there's been one-offs here and there.
Yeah, but I mean, like consistently.
Yeah, but I would say most weeks we haven't even
gotten close.
Yeah,
no,
pretty wild.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great minds sometimes don't think alike. All right, time for
Danny. Anything for any kind of lines?
Yeah, you want to?
Or do you think anybody's gonna win?
Thursday lines, Friday beers.
I don't do lines.
Thursday lines, my favorite Instagram account. Go check it out.
Speaking of lines, I'm top 6. The Lions are my number 1 team.
The lines. Shocking development.
Right. Okay, so the Lions for me, NFL top 6, 12-1. They've beaten the Seahawks, Vikings, Packers twice, and the Texans. I don't think they have any good losses, but they don't have many losses at all.
I mean, let's be real. They were number one last week. They're not going anywhere.
No,
they didn't do anything to hurt their case at this point.
Number 2, I'm going to go Chiefs, 12-1 also. I know they, like you just said, they've won a lot of games by a small margin, but that being said, they've still won those games.
Wins are wins, yeah.
Ravens, Chargers twice, and the Broncos. Their one good loss to me is the Bills at 10-3. Number 3 on my list, I'm going to go the Vikings. So they shot up a little bit.
Did you have them 3 last week?
No.
So you moved them up?
I think I had the Bills.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I don't. Do you keep it weekly what you had beforehand or no?
I used to do that. Well, we'll get to it as to why I haven't done it this week, but yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So the Vikings, to me, it was between them and the Eagles, who are both 11-2. I thought the Vikings have 2 good wins: Texans 8-5, Packers 9-4. But I think the fact that they have the one good loss, in my opinion, to the Lions that are 12-1, puts them in that 3 spot.
Fair enough.
So that's why I have the Eagles at 4, who have beaten the Packers and the Ravens. So they both share the Packers win. And I think the Ravens are a better team than the Texans. But I think the loss, and it was a close loss, to the Lions puts the Vikings in that 3 spot.
Okay.
So at 5, I have the Bills. They dropped 2 spots. them having 3 losses compared to the Vikings, Eagles 2 losses, to me, was a big deal.
Yeah.
But still, they have the Seahawks 8-5 is a good win, and they are first in their division, I believe, right? Seahawks.
Correct.
And they have beaten the Chiefs. Probably the best win out of any non-12 loss or 12-win team, I would say.
Yeah, I think I would agree that they have probably the best win among the contending teams. Yeah.
And they have 2 good losses, Ravens, Texans. They're both 8-5, but I still think that we would think that they have a better team than their record.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens in the NFL.
Yeah.
Then the Steelers, 10-3, kind of got to give them the respect. There's only luckily for us, there's only 6 teams that have double-digit wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Steelers have Broncos, Chargers, and Ravens as wins. That's, to me, those are, Broncos, Chargers. You're like, but they have 3 wins over 500.
Yeah, they're both 8. Yeah, all 8-win teams. Not bad.
Yeah. So that's my top 6: Lions, Chiefs, Vikings, Eagles, Bills, Steelers.
We are very, very, very similar. Shocking, actually. I did not change my list one bit this week.
Really?
Yes. So we talked about how the Bills lost.
Did you forget to do it?
No.
Okay.
No, I did not. But thank you for asking. You would ask maybe why I didn't move the Bills down after losing a game. However, I really only compared them with the Steelers this week. So I'll start from the bottom. I got the Steelers at number 6, right where they were last week, 10-3. Got the Bills at number 5, also 10-3. Bills were a 2-loss team last week, so I wasn't really considering them against the Steelers in this ranking, even though they were still at number 5. But comparing their resumes at this point, the only advantage that the Steelers have over the Bills is maybe that they have a couple more wins against quality teams than the Bills. But the Bills do have the most quality win between the 2 teams, and that is the Chiefs. And then comparing common opponents, although the Ravens beat the Bills and the Steelers beat the Ravens or the Steelers lost to the Colts and the Bills beat the Colts. So tit for tat in that.
You're going. Obviously, I don't even think about losses.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. Also, if you go to like the metrics, strength of schedule, a huge advantage for the Bills here. We got a 485 winning percentage for opponents against the Bills and only 395 for the Steelers. So definite advantage there. Also advantage in strength of victory, 454 for the Bills to 403 for the Steelers, and point differential almost or over a 40-point gap between the Bills and Steelers. So I think pretty clear that the Bills have done more resume-wise to this point than the Steelers, so I got them at 5. Moving into the top 4, I still got Minnesota number 4, 11-2, and then Philly at 3 at 11-2 as well. These teams are actually really close. I just give a slight advantage to Philly because I think they have one more quality win than Minnesota does overall.
What's that other win?
I would give it to Washington being one of those.
Yeah, okay.
They're an 8-5 team.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're obviously like Washington, Houston, Denver, Seattle. They're all like kind of teams, kind of like upper middle of tier, if you will.
I agree with that.
Also, like the strength of schedule is not a huge gap. Like Minnesota's got a slight advantage there, but then strength of victory is an advantage of Philly, and then point differential is also an advantage of Philly. So I would say they're almost tied for third, but I'd give the slight advantage to Philly. Also, like in a way, because I know the CFP committee does this, reputation a little bit is factored into this.
Okay.
Like if you're thinking about if Alabama was 10-2 and let's say even Tennessee, who hasn't won they're both playing the same conference, but they haven't done as much as Alabama has over the years. They're probably going to put Alabama over Tennessee, right? I hate to think that way, and because it's the NFL, all these teams are big.
I don't
big
like
brands,
that,
but it is a reality. Yeah. But I think even everything else, Philly has a slight advantage over Minnesota. Number 2, Kansas City, same as last week. They didn't really do anything to hurt or help their resume, and same with Detroit, number 1. Clear number 1, I feel like, at this point. A lot of good wins, good strength of schedule so far, and by far the best point differential in the NFL.
Yeah. Danny, any qualms? Any things that you would change?
I don't know. I hate to say it, but maybe even put KC number 1. Put Detroit 2. I might put Minnesota 3 over Phillies. I don't know. The record's great. Something about the Phillies I don't trust.
Okay.
And Buffalo, I mean, they beat KC, who I put number 1, so I almost want to even drop Philly to 4.
Right.
Which is probably going to be...
Even last week I had this thing like where I wanted to put Buffalo number 2 when they only had 2 losses because they had beat Kansas City. But then looking at their total resume, like they just don't have a lot of great wins.
Yeah.
They beat Kansas City and they like Seattle was their next best win, which didn't look great on paper at that time. And we do these rankings. I feel like you've maybe been on the show when we've done these in past years, where it's kind of like looking at the resume from a college football committee standpoint, like how they would rank teams. Yeah. I would say just outside Green Bay, they had a tough loss to Detroit last week. Mm-hmm. Of course, Baltimore's got a great resume as well at 8-5. It's crazy to think that they've lost 5 games because they're. I still think of them as like a really legit team.
Well, they started off 0-2, 0-3,
0-2, and they had that loss to the Raiders after a tough loss to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Danny, I'm going to ask you: did Justin Tucker get 10 fantasy points this week?
I think I'm looking at that anymore.
It's also funny that he's here the week after Justin Tucker had a bye.
Yeah. So I'm glad you mentioned that because he didn't. So did he get 10 fantasy points? No.
He didn't play.
Was on a bye week. So you had Jason Sanders be your kicker. Jason Sanders, who plays for the Dolphins, for those who don't know.
Did he put up like 30?
He got 15 points for game. He got 15.
Which is more than any Justin Tucker week, right?
Took the words right out of my mouth. Justin Tucker has not scored 15 or more once this season.
Where are you in the playoffs?
I got 8 wins, baby. 8 wins.
I had 7. Get the fuck out of here.
How are you talking shit to me then? How are you talking shit?
I'm not talking shit.
Isn't that what you're doing right now? Where am I at in the standings? Higher than you?
How are you not talking shit? I can't dish it back to you? You talk shit every week about me. Every week.
You're asking.
Every week.
What, on this podcast?
Yes.
You don't listen. You listened last week.
Obviously I do.
Last week you did.
Obviously
Yeah,
I
congratulations. The first time in the last fucking 6 months you probably
please.
Had to.
Where am I in the standings? Higher than you. Higher than you. And that's not false. Is that false? Emerson, is that false?
No.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Good stuff.
And with that being said, it's...
That was easy.
Time for last call.
Last call.
You had a comment about basketball.
Oh, yeah. I can say it if you want.
Yeah.
Of course, please.
That's why I'm
I
asking.
won't get sued about it.
You might.
Oh, okay. I'll start off with the quick one, but I hate these tournament courts.
Horrible.
And that
Awful.
one, Houston's
Houston
Garbage.
was.
Bad.
But my other one is, what's the point of this tournament?
Oh, we've discussed it. It's stupid. It's a money grab.
Yeah.
They're trying to make the middle of the season mean something, quote unquote.
100%.
Let's make it mean something, you know?
Play less games.
Like what?
That's never going to happen.
Like 20 games?
Hey, look at the NFL. Look at the NFL. It's never going to happen. So I'm
that
not
would be
not even suggesting.
That
it.
would be insane if
Yeah.
it was just like 25 games.
There's only one thing that means anything. It's winning the whole thing.
Of course.
So let's make it an advantage, you know, of some kind.
Like if you win the tournament, it means something.
Correct. Sort of the
I've-
all-star baseball.
Yeah,
All-star
I've kind of
baseball.
thought about like
What
if
if-
you could guarantee a playoff spot with it, but it's such a small event that would seem like too much of a, I don't know.
What if they kind of pulled a MLB, actually not this year, but like MLB All-Star game a long time ago, that if you win the NBA Cup,
I just said this.
no, what'd you say?
For the All-Star game.
Well, like if you win the NBA Cup, you have home field advantage in the NBA Finals.
But how? Okay, but
Maybe your division.
But that's the thing is you're putting one team in control of that for a whole league or a whole conference.
But it's every team, or
but
every team.
But every team at the beginning has a chance to get to that point and decide that for themselves.
So if you're knocked out, you can still root
So
for
a team like the Celtics could be like, you know what, the NBA Cup, we want to win this thing because we want to have home court for when we go to the finals.
Okay, but let's say, like, for example, the Atlanta Hawks are maybe not going to make the playoffs this year, but they are in the semifinals of the NBA Cup. They go on to win the thing, and they're the team that decides who gets to have home court advantage in the NBA Finals.
But wouldn't you say the same thing about the MLB All-Star Game?
But at least there's players from all teams involved in that.
Yeah, but this...
And it's also not a thing anymore because they realized it was stupid.
Yeah.
But, nonetheless.
Just trying to make...
to
make it work. Because the incentive is like, what, $500,000 for each player?
Something like that.
Which is for guys who aren't like Steph
like
Curry.
The rookies, guys in rookie
It's a lot of money. It's a good amount of money.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, they're clearly, like we talked about, they're digging for something to add some value to games that wouldn't have it otherwise.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's definitely gimmicky. You know, they're trying to steal from the soccer model of having in-season tournaments.
Here's a great thought. Maybe the winner of the tournament gets to host the All-Star Game for the next season.
That'd be kind of fun because that brings money to the city.
I like that.
That's honestly the best thing I've heard.
And that's it just came
and that's not
pay
even,
me.
It's right. And I'm not gonna like shit on it by saying this, but it's still like, what is that really worth? Like it's a good. It sounds great.
Money to your city
compared to anything else that I've heard.
Yeah.
No, I like that too.
But what is it really worth? I don't know. It's definitely gimmicky what they're doing right now.
You're playing the games anyway, so it's not changing anything.
Right.
And I don't know.
But I've said it before, being a fan of a team that hasn't won a championship in the history of it being where it's at, if the Kings won the NBA Cup, I'd be pretty stoked. Which sounds ridiculous because you guys have seen the Warriors win 4 actual championships.
Yeah.
I think it could mean like a not consolation, but like your team actually won something. Like it's not like the main trophy that you want, but only one team wins that. And I guess only one team wins the other one, or I guess 2 teams can.
It means as much as the Dodgers winning the World Series in a shortened season. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, I have a thought. Okay, it guarantees your team a spot at minimum in the play-in. So let's say you're a team that's your team's off to a bad start, but you've somehow been able to win your cup games and you're in the championship game, and now you got something to play for.
Yeah.
Because I already think that having 10 teams have a chance to make the playoffs after it's all said, like after all 82 games have been played, is a lot. So, you know, if you want to actually add some juice to this thing and get those teams that are in the middle of the pack, you know, give them something that's valuable beyond a little bit of cash, you know, I think that might be worth something.
Or is the NBA just doing too much?
Oh, I mean, I already think
with the play-in and the NBA Cup or / in-season tournament. Are they doing too much now?
For sure, I think they're doing too much. I don't dislike the play-in, but I just think if you're really thinking about it, that's a lot of teams that they're giving a shot to. I think it has added some more competitiveness for more teams down the stretch of the season, but at the same time, I think it's a lot. It is a lot.
It's like the CFP expanding. It's all a money grab.
Yes, but I mean, taking 12 out of 130 teams versus taking 20 out of 30, that's different.
Yeah.
But yes, the courts suck.
That was easy.
Yes, it was.
The courts are ass. I hope the league listens to people that care about the sport.
Or this podcast, yeah.
Yeah. I know we're not the only ones talking about how bad the courts are. I know
A lot of people talked about that court last night.
That
the
court in
Houston
particular was really bad.
really bad.
I think Kerr said it looked like
The depths of hell.
yeah.
It's like you're walking in the depths of hell.
Yeah, and the Celtics one's garbage. The Lakers and the Suns
I
ones
think
are
that
bad.
might have been the worst one I've seen because I just feel like the red is
It's really loud.
so red.
The Warriors had a bad one a few weeks ago. Too.
None
It
of
was
them
all
are.
gray.
I've never seen.
That's theirs. Yeah,
I've never
But that's
seen-
not a bad one in comparison.
No, but it's still not good.
No, it's not good.
I've never seen one court and said that's nice.
No, not a single one.
I guarantee if you had the cup in the middle, cup in the paints,
And normal looking floors.
you would know it was the fucking NBA
Yeah.
cup.
Yeah.
You would.
Not that and
You
let's be real.
would.
And not that it even matters if it's the NBA Cup because no one gives a fuck about the NBA Cup.
Yeah.
But I bet you ticket prices are different for NBA Cup games.
They probably are.
Yeah,
Which
absolutely.
is stupid.
That looks like a court, or those looks like courts that someone would make in NBA 2K.
Yeah,
like
my-
custom court. Yeah,
my player type
100%.
shit.
100%.
Should we do another shot? No?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
You got anything fun for last call,
I
guys?
have nothing, actually.
I guess I got just one quick soccer thing. PSG got a huge win on Tuesday in the Champions League. Send it. Speaking of France, just outside of France.
Stupid.
Just outside of France.
They pretty much had to win. They beat Salzburg 3-0. They are now. Well, actually, I'd say they are still sitting in the top spot outside of the knockout stage in the elimination zone currently, which is obviously not great. They haven't played well enough in the Champions League so far, but they got two more games playing Man City on January 22nd, which is going to be a tough one. Man City has not been playing well. I wish we were playing them now rather than in a couple months when they get their shit together.
Okay.
But nonetheless, we got a game against them and then a game against Stuttgart, who is just behind us in the standings. So it's going to be pretty much do or die for the last couple of games for PSG.
Was that Brock Purdy's wife in that commercial?
Yeah. I brought that up earlier.
She's not bad.
Did you? Yeah, okay. Wow.
Boys,
Boys,
That's what future money gets you.
Danny, I want to thank you for being on this podcast. It's been a while.
you know, this is like a new podcast because it's 201.
Yep.
It's not 199.
No,
It ain't 202.
it's
201.
201. Yeah.
We're into the third.
So
century.
anytime you
So
want,
let's keep it going.
anytime you want to be on.
Hey, they're Thursdays. I'm here.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Put it right there.
I don't want to.
Fair enough.
Don't tell me what to do.
With that being said, we thank you for listening. We thank you for watching. We thank Danny for being here, as not always, but thank you for being here. We will see you next week. Next time. Next time.
Next time's always safe.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace.